Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. We're doing something a little bit different today. I've decided to create a quote unquote a just moved in family home in Sequoia on this 30 by 20 lot. This house has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and the idea behind this house is that your Sims have absolutely every single item they possibly need to be able to live and function and fulfill all of their needs. However, the house isn't necessarily functional in that I've placed some of the items, you'll see when we get onto the interior, but I've placed some of the items on an angle to make it look like the family and the movers have just sort of like dumped the items for now, and there's like boxes everywhere, there's quite a bit of clutter and things like that. So this house is designed more for you guys to probably play out as like a storyline for gameplay, and I just thought that was like a really nice idea and something just a little bit different too. So it just means if you'd like to download this house, then you can sort of move the items or redecorate or just do whatever you want to really, or you could even download this not furnished and just do whatever you would like. So yes, currently working on the exterior here. The house does not remain yellow obviously, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail. We do change it to, I think, like a dark blue siding swatch from the Growing Together pack. I actually used quite a few items from that pack. I talk so many times about the build and buy from Growing Together and how much I adore it, but yeah, I used quite a few items, although the front windows here are actually from Get Famous, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and then the windows just on the right here are actually from the Moschino stuff pack. I think that was a stuff pack, wasn't it? Yes. So I did a little bit of mix and matching with the windows. The ones in the peak of the roofs as well, they're from Growing Together. So I really like this house. I actually came up with the idea for this house quite a while ago, and I made a note of it on my phone like I typically do when I get an idea for a build or for a video. I'll just make a note of it in my phone and I'll refer back to it at a later date. But I was scrolling through the debug menu, I would say around a month or 2 ago now, and I noticed there was like a mover's truck here that you've just seen me move, and I just thought that would be such a nice idea to do like a just moved in house. And I was like, okay, I was struggling with sort of if I wanted to release a video before New Year, if I was going to have the time, because I was actually thinking of taking like a very small break over the festive period. It hasn't really transpired that that's happened, but that's okay. That's a choice that I've made myself, and I have sort of said this will very definitely what does that even mean? This will definitely be the last build of 2023, and then my next upload will likely be on the 6th or the 7th of January, so that it just means that after this I've got around about a week, just over a week, to sort of recharge, recuperate, and come back and feel a little bit more refreshed. So that's the plan there. But yeah, you can see the exterior is coming together really well. And the downstairs, so the bottom floor, is actually quite a bit bigger than the upper floor. So the upper floor is where we have the main family bathroom and then also the 2 bedrooms. And then the ground floor, as you can see, we do have a separate garage here as well, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But yeah, on the ground floor, we've got like the main living room, we've got the kitchen, we've got like a small bathroom off the kitchen, and then we've got like what I would sort of use as more of like a family room / dining room. It could even be a playroom for the kids or whatever you want to do really. But my sort of plan for this was that we have 2 parents and then we have an infant, and also either 1 child or 2 children. If you'd like to add bunk beds, then you can. I personally didn't, because I think the whole idea behind this is that perhaps the family were living in either a smaller house or they were living in an apartment somewhere, you know, in San Myshuno or whatever, and they decided that they wanted to move to San Sequoia and just sort of get a bigger place that they can grow into and that they can renovate and sort of make their own. So yeah, you'll see me here pulling out some clutter. So this is what I imagined the movers have helped the family come out with. So like we've got these boxes from the Eco Lifestyle pack, which worked so superbly with this build. Like you can see them, like one has a little teddy bear on it, the other one has a house on it, and it just really added to telling that story of the just moved in sort of vibe. And I adore it. I love it. If it's something that you'd be interested in seeing a little bit more of, I don't really know what else I could possibly do in terms of like a storyline for a build, but I've spoken before about how I just love telling stories through my builds, through the way something's decorated or the way something's built, and I just thought this is a really cute idea, and it just means that if you do decide to download this, then you've got some gameplay to do, you know, like you could play out an entire storyline and just really make it, I don't know, something kind of wonderful. So if you want to share anything with me, I'm RachelPedd across all social media platforms, please feel free. But a lot of the items from the For Rent pack actually came in handy. I say a lot of the items, some of the items from the For Rent pack came in handy, especially this for sale sign outside. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect for this build. And I was like, I have to use that. I just have to. Although I did go into game and then just like, you can make it so that it looks, so like a little banner comes across, as almost as if like it's sold or it's rented. So I did do that, just again to add to the storyline, and I used quite a few items from the Everyday Clutter kit and also the Basement Treasures kit as well. And the garage, you could actually turn that into a bedroom if you really wanted to. I used it as more of like a storage space. So what you can do is you can download this, you can pull some items from the garage, you can place them down in the house, you can move whatever you would like around. But it was sort of an idea of, okay, well, let's just shove all that in the garage, let's get that out of the way, and then we'll carry some of the items in. So some of the items are still outside, some of the items are in the house. I really like how it played out. I really did. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about it now because I feel like I'm just repeating myself. But we're currently working on the back of the house here, just replicating what we've done at the front, and I do some very minor tweaks off camera. I tend to do this and I talk about this a lot on the channel, but I'll take a screenshot to decide if I even like the build, and I'll typically post it to Twitter. It's very rare that I post it on Instagram. I'll typically post it to Twitter, or X now as it's called, and I'll sort of gauge everybody's sort of feel of the build and how I feel about the build. And it actually went down a treat, which was super nice to see, and so thank you for all your lovely comments if you did comment. But I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, so I'll take a screenshot and then I'll start picking at it. I'll be like, I don't like the way that looks, that needs to be, that roof pitch needs to be higher, I need to add more landscaping here, I need to take away some of this landscaping, I need to add more clutter here, and I'll like start pulling it apart, which is a good thing and a bad thing because it means that I have a little bit more time to sort of like work on it, because I started working on this yesterday and then I've finished up today, and then obviously I'm uploading today as well. So when I got onto the interior, because I knew the vibe that I wanted to get across, I sort of let go of, okay, well, everything needs to look perfect, because that was not the idea with this house, and it took me a lot less time to figure out the interior than I had anticipated, because it's a pretty decent sized house. It's definitely not a big house by any stretch of the imagination, but it's decent size, you know, 2 bedrooms, and technically I suppose it's 1.5 bathrooms, not 2 bathrooms. But the ground floor, if you wanted to turn some spaces into bedrooms, you definitely could. So you could have like a whole renovation series on this if you wanted. You can do with this whatever you would like. But we have moved on to the interior here. I struggled for a little while. This is my second attempt at trying to work out the floor plan, because I was just thinking, I have no idea what I'd like to do with this. And I also struggled with that I would usually add a bedroom on the ground floor when I have this much space, but I decided against that with this build, because it's really nice to sometimes have like a living room. I don't know what you would class it as, because I know it's not super common in UK houses, but you've got like a family room and also a living room, and I can't remember which one is supposed to be like the more formal space. Anyway, that's what I decided to do here, and then I very quickly put together the upper floor plan which is the 2 bedrooms and the 1 bathroom. And for some reason, I realized this when I got onto the upper floor, I'd added 2, like you can see, 2 doors. Why are there 2 doors leading to that room? Like, what is that about? So I do quickly realize that when I start decorating the upstairs, so not to panic. And then that's the very small bathroom just off the kitchen. I have spoken about this before. It's not something that's really common. My mum and dad have it in their house, and it's not a really old house at all, but it's like you go, so there's the kitchen and then there's a utility room, and then then you walk into the bathroom. So it's not like the bathroom's directly there. There's a utility room sort of splitting up the two spaces. But I think I wouldn't necessarily say, I can't talk today. I would not necessarily say that this is a really old house. So I don't know how sort of realistic that is, but I wanted to add some sort of bathroom space down here if you would like to, again, make any changes you would like. And you might be able to think of a completely different floor plan for this house, which works a little bit better. So yeah, just let me know. But yeah, we are currently starting to sort of clutter up the spaces and add some of the items that I was referring to at the beginning. So I was really trying to get across this. Okay, well, so they've taken the items off the van and they've sort of dumped them in the rooms that they need to be in, because I think that's what people tend to do when they're moving. It's definitely what I did when I moved house a couple of years ago now. We didn't need a van because we actually moved from down the street to into the house that we now have, and so we ended up carrying a lot of the items or putting them in the car and then just driving down the road and parking up. But we sort of like decided, okay, that's for that room, so let's put it in that room, and then we can sort of work out and finagle where we would like everything. So I just figured that was kind of realistic. So again, you'll see some suitcases here and there, you'll see some boxes, you'll see a lot of clutter, just anything that I could find and get my hands on that I thought would work to, again, get that story across. So that the bathrooms are fully furnished, the kitchen is fully furnished, because usually when you move into a house, 99.9% of the time anyway, if you're buying a house that's like this, you would have your bathrooms there and your kitchen as well. So the kitchen, it's a little bit dated. It's supposed to be a little bit dated, so the idea is that you could maybe paint the cabinets, i.e. change the swatch, rip it all out and start again. Whatever you would like to do. I'd be so interested to see what you guys do with this house. I really, really would. So please, please, please send me any screenshots that you would like to. But then we sort of add some more clutter pieces here. So this is what I'm referring to when I say it's not necessarily functional, because obviously Sims can't sit at that table. However, I did add a dining room table just into this like little nook in the next room that has some of the chairs snapped to it. So your Sims could, here we are. I could have just waited and said that, but anyway, so your Sims could potentially sit here if they would like, if they're actually able to. But again, the idea is that you would come in as the player and sort of rejig the items and sort of tell the story as you're going along. So yeah, then like just adding some furniture pieces and trying to sort of show you what I had in mind for each room. I'm hoping it kind of comes across. It kind of comes across that way. I didn't hang any curtains or anything like that because I thought maybe the curtains are still on the moving truck. But yeah, you'll see a lot of boxes and some like older items mixed in with like some newer items as well, which I thought was kind of a cool idea and sort of like quite realistic really, because we have some like older items in our house mixed with probably items that we've purchased more recently. So I just thought, again, a little bit more realistic there. This is the garage space. It's a very nice space. Again, you could definitely turn this into, you could do whatever you wanted with this. I quite like having a garage in gameplay that allows your Sim to sort of come in here and partake in various activities. So we've got a piano in here, there's a running machine, there's like a gardening desk. What am I even trying to say? That your Sims can do like floristry at. So yeah, and then there's a lot of clutter items. So there's bikes in here and things like that, and maybe things that the family have picked up along the way. And also this really old armchair that's from the Basement Treasures kit, which I absolutely adore because it has like all the scratched leather and it just looks really worn and awesome. I absolutely love how that looks. And then we very quickly decorate the upper floor. So this is the bathroom already decorated. So then this is the main bedroom, and then the bedroom to the right there is the kids' room. I had in mind that you'd probably put the infant in here with the parents, and then you could probably expand the house as you go. But that is pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. If you would like to download this house from the gallery, my origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box just down below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you in 2024. Bye, everyone.